Hello, good fellas. Today we are going to talk about something related to our hobbies, something that's very inherent to our hobby of collecting fountain pens. And I thought I should put forward these points before you because there are so many young people who have joined the hobby and who've taken up the hobby, who've joined our fraternity, our brotherhood of fountain pen collectors, and who are so confused. Now, the question that arises, and which is not really answered or discussed for that matter, is what are the problems facing this hobby of a fountain pen collection? I mean, what are the things that one should, as a fountain pen collector, guard against in order to make their hobbies flourish? Now, I was thinking about it. This happened because this young lady, she asked me this, though not in so many words, but I believe this is what she had in her mind. And it got me thinking naturally. I have been thinking about it for a long time. And when I, wrote down the possible answers, the possible things that you should guard against, I've come, with many points that can be discussed. In fact, there are 8 broad classifications that I did of the entire thing. Number one is comparison. The biggest problem that we face, and that takes so many of us out of this hobby, is comparison. I've seen so many collectors, so many hobbyists, budding hobbyists, who get cowed down, who get bowed down by this constant urge to compare one's collection with those of others. They keep saying that I have only 2 pens, I have only 36 pens, I have only 200 pens, they have so many more. I have only got 6 Moblins, somebody's got 300. It's not about how many pens you have, it's about you, your love for your instrument, and how you take it forward. It's not in the numbers, it's not a numbers game. I keep telling everyone, please don't get into this numbers game. If you want to collect, do not compare. Keep collecting, writing, doodling, whatever keeps you happy, but do not compare. So the first thing is comparison that one should guard against. Number two is comfort. When I say comfort, what I'm trying to say is that you must get out of your comfort zone to take your hobby to the next level. If you don't experiment, if you don't buy that pen with that crack in the cap, that small microscopic crack, or that discolored, I don't know how to put it, I don't have one here, I would have shown you. If there are so many pens that over a period of time, if you keep writing, it gets discolored. So if you don't overcome these things, you will not be able to take your hobby to the next level. So you have to get out of your comfort zone. Number three, and perhaps to many people this is the most important, and because ultimately it leads to this, is that I will say don't quit. It's very easy to get bored on the 7th day or the 77th day or the 256th day and give up. What the fuck, man? And you say, Yeah, I mean, I've had too many pens. It's at the end of the day, it's about inking up and writing and all that. Let's get back to a ballpoint pen and start writing, or better still, we all have our digital devices. Why fountain pen? Yaar, chhod na. No, don't quit. Keep collecting. Keep continuing. It's not about hoarding. Uh, it's not about how many pens you have. It's not. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure that it gives, and it's a lifelong thing. It's once you take it up, you should continue to the logical end, and I believe my pens should go to the grave with me. So don't quit. It's not something that you pick up and quit. It's not smoking. It's fashionable to quit. I quit this, I quit that. No, yaar, like keep continuing. Number 4, and this is also very important, is distraction. Getting distracted is a class enemy. It's an enemy of collecting. It's an enemy of collectors. Serious collecting calls for dedication. If you are a true hobbyist, you will be dedicated to your art, to your passion of collecting. You must learn how to ignore the background chatter and focus on whatever you are doing, because at the end of the day it's about our lives, it's about our spare time, it's about what we like doing. We have become collectors out of our own free choice, not because somebody has forced us to, not because society has frowned upon and told us that you should become a collector. No, we've done it out of our own free will, uh, and let's not get distracted. Let's continue doing whatever we are uh, so passionate about. Number 5, and you must have seen this coming, number 5 is the net. Net. I'm not saying this because the net represents the digital, whereas the fountain pens are so delightfully analog. No, quite on the contrary, this resurgence of this hobby has been to a very great extent bolstered by the by the net. It's because of the net that we have so many fountain pen clubs from around the world coming together. It's because of the net that we have come to know about so many events happening in so many parts of the world. It's because of the net that we can buy pens from any place that we feel like. It's because of the net that all these e-commerce sites are doing such a beautiful thing. I am warning you about the net because the net is also full of charlatans. People who pose as fountain pen lovers, who have multiple, avatars and multiple accounts, and through them they are basically sellers who are trying to attract you, to grab your attention, and to attract you and force you into a path, so that ultimately you end up on their laps. So be careful about that. The net is like the atom bomb. It's like science. You can put it to good use or you can blow things to smithereens. So be careful, because the net is also full of fountain pen pedophiles, and they're out to take you kids for a run and do all sorts of wrong things to you. Let me not open my mouth. I have a very bad yak. Anyway, So the thing is, be careful. Number six, and this is also very important, is that what I call the Canon of Conditionality. There is no perfect condition. There is no perfect condition to become a fountain pen collector or to start this hobby or everything associated with it. I mean, there is no, it's not a astrological event that you will go to an astrologer and he'll, cast your chart and find out the right time, the moment when you should step into this fantastic world of fountain pen collection. No, start. Just start. Pick up any damn pen that you feel like. If you are very rich, go buy a damn expensive one. If you are not rich, buy any pen that you can afford to. Buy any pen that you feel like. Buy any pen that you like. Buy any pen that you love. That you that has the potential of you falling in love with it. So just buy and start. You may never find that pen, which your father had given to your mother on their first anniversary. But that should not stop you from, opening up all the drawers in the house. And please do that, now that we mention it. Please do that, because I have found so many pens lying unloved and forgotten in the back of drawers that we hardly open. So, and not in my place, also in places of my friends and relatives, because I have now become a kind of a pen hunter. Wherever I go and I tell them, can I rummage through your drawer and see if I can find a pen? Please do that, because there are so many treasures to be discovered, so many treasures lying forgotten and given up on. And people will be very happy if you take these pens, because at the end of the day, you are giving their legacy a family. You are taking the pens because you want to take a good care of them, not because you are not the kind of people from the net that we were talking about who are basically sellers. You are here for the hobby, you are here for the love of it. And so please pick them up, request your people to give them, and if somebody asks for money, pay that damn thing and take it. I mean, it's going to be worth it. I'm telling you, it has always been worth it for me. So there is no perfect condition. Please start. Number 6, or is it 5, or is it 6? I don't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Is that of multitasking. Avoid multitasking. I'm saying this, I mean, maybe there are people out there among you who are very good at multitasking, who are the MBA types who put everything down in Excel sheets and have their schedules and things made out, and they do so many things together. I can't do it. I have to focus on one thing. Whatever I am doing, I admit that I don't end up doing it very well, everything, but I try to. And in order to do that, I have to stop multitasking, because my resources are limited, my time is limited, and I believe that I can get the best results if I focus on only one single thing. And I focus on collecting pens. I've been focusing on this for so many years. Yes, I also collect ink bottles and accessories, desk accessories, vintage and old ones. But that's secondary. My primary, I also collect pencils. I also collect mechanical pencils. I have many of them. But these are all secondary. The primary thing is fountain pen collection. I collect pens and I love pens, and this is what gives me the maximum amount of pleasure. So I do it. So I avoid multitasking, and I will request all of you to avoid multitasking too. The next thing is procrastination. You know, they say procrastination is the thief of time. As I was saying, that if you are into fountain pen collecting, don't keep it for a specific day or a specific time or sometime in the future, that let me retire and then I will start take up this thing. Don't procrastinate. Start collecting. It can be a small pen, it can be 2 pens, it can be anything. So start uh, start your enter the hobby and start doing it. Finally, don't complain. Don't complain. Stop complaining. You know, the perfect vintage pen that you may be looking for may always elude you. When you get it, it may be too expensive for you to buy. It's happened to me so many times. I've loved something, but I just couldn't buy it because I didn't have that. I still don't have that kind of money. I and I couldn't buy it. There are so many pens that I've been looking for so many years. The first Guptu pen, incidentally, I had to wait for 20 long years to get one. So it's about that's part of the game. That's part of the pleasure of this hobby. So stop complaining. You must cherish what you have. Cherish the love that you get. Cherish your pen. Cherish the hobby. Cherish the process. Cherish the journey. Cherish being a fountain pen lover. So and stop complaining that he has so many pens. She has this, blah 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 blah. Don't get into all that. Stop complaining and continue with your hobby. Make the hobby synonymous with your very being. You know, it's about, I mean, what do you do? People ask me, and I say I collect fountain pens. That's it. Because, and people say, which Chomo? That the guy who collects pens, right? So that's all. So it's a pleasure that I get, and over a period of time, I have become synonymous with this hobby. My whole being, my life, my love, my everything is now focused into these pens, into the pens that I carry, into my pens. So, I mean, it may be going too far, and maybe most of you will not get that far or would not want to go that far. That choice is also yours. So, stop complaining and start collecting. Now, that's about it. If you, I mean, these are the ones that I could remember, and I wanted to discuss this with you guys. So, I've just told you. If I've missed out anything, and if you think that there are other points that should be included in this conversation, if you guys want to take it forward, please feel free to write in the comments section, because you know that's how I get my inputs. There are so many of you, good, bad, ugly, who keep writing, and I must thank all of you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, because you open the horizon up for me, and I am so focused and so immersed in this hobby that I don't have time to time for a lot of things that I would otherwise want to do. But and you guys, you just tell me so many things that I don't know, because at the end of the day, this fountain pen collecting, one of the things, one of the very important aspects of this hobby is the research that goes into it. It's not only about buying a pen. It's not about going to a shop or going to a website and swiping your card and buying a pen. If you are buying a pen, it's also about knowing this pen. It's about knowing the history of this pen. It's about knowing the little stories that surround this pen. It's about knowing the company that has made this pen. It is about knowing the kind of thought that has gone into the designing of this pen. Why is this pen, or how is this pen different from this one? So these are all pertinent questions that I mean, you can see this is blue and this is brass, but or this is steel with a plastic cap and this is red and this is brass. But the thing is, the point that has to be noted is that so many things. This is not only an implement that you write with. This is not only about a period in time that this pen represents. It's not only about the history of the time when this pen was originally conceived or created, or when this particular pen came into being. It's about so many related things that this pen tells you, or is willing to tell you, or is capable of tell you, if you look. You have to look for it. And that's part of the pleasure of this hobby. So it's not about going out and buying a pen and inking it up and writing. That's only one aspect. The pleasure is one aspect. The second aspect is what nib has, what is the width of the nib, how wet it writes. These are the physical aspects. That's the second aspect. The third aspect is the story, the legacy, the the history of the times, the so many things. Probably about knowing about the person who owned this pen. And so many of my pens are second-hand pens, pre-used pens, pre-loved pens. So they're about knowing about that person. It's about knowing about their times. It's about knowing about their histories. It's about knowing about their lives and how that pen highlighted those things. There are so many pens, and Richard Binder has a beautiful book on it. It's about the pens that went to war. Pens that were used by people who were fighting bloody wars for their countries. So here is a thing of creativity going through a process of destruction, and destruction also begets creation. So that's one way of looking at it. But Richard Binder is a fantastic pen restorer, a creator, a lover, a collector, but he has also collected the stories. So this is what I'm saying all this just to underscore the fact that this hobby can be interpreted from so many different levels. So my request is, please come, join us, take it forward, love a pen, or get associated with a pen, or fill your life with pens from your point of view. Look at it from your point of view. It does not necessarily mean that whatever I am saying is God's sermon or something like that. I am also like you. So please take it from your point of view and remember these points, because this is a hobby that has given me so much in life and so much pleasure, so many moments that have stretched into eternity, and that have given me immense amount of pleasure. It's like kind of nirvana. So the thing is, that's about it. If you have anything, please write, and please don't forget to share and comment and subscribe to this channel, because I am doing this primarily and only, why primarily? Only to spread the word, to make the hobby more popular, to spread the cult of fountain pen collecting. I have no vested interest. So please join me, and let us all together, let us take it forward. Thank you.